you might notice that my background is a periodical cicada. And that's one of the other things that we're going to have a major event occurring here in Central Ohio in May. So it's going to be a little bit later on in the season, but we're going to have brood 10 of the periodical cicadas emerging basically in the western half of Ohio in May, and they're going to be active in June. And people are always going to freak out about it, especially if they happen to be up in the northern Columbus area where they've had some old woodlots in there where these periodical cicadas have been able to survive in spite of some urban development going on. Again, as an entomologist, I just chuckle when people freak out about these things. We get phone calls and emails. I can't sleep at night. Those cicadas are still singing in the middle of the night. and I go, yeah, enjoy it. It's only going to last for about a month and a half. And then they'll be gone for another 17 years.
And I think that's one of the craziest things about cicadas is that they just have that cycle where it's almost rare and kind of, we forget that as creepy and crawly as they look, that it's kind of a cool special event that we get to be a part of.
And I really encourage people to appreciate it. One of my favorite spots would be up in some of the parks. There's what is it? I'm not going to be able to think of it. It's off of 23. There's a Metro Park up there that 17 years ago, they had a massive emergence in there. So I am assuming they're going to have the emergence again. I went up and looked at them, the ground this last week, and I still didn't see any signs of it. It's still pretty early for the nymphs to be showing some symptoms that they're coming up to the surface, but that'll probably occur in April. We'll see some of that mounding of soil coming up where they're coming to the surface to get ready to emerge.
Okay, so April's kind of like preparation, and then May and beginning of June when it'll be in full force.
Yep, and in mid-June, pardon my French, all hell's going to break loose, and they're going to come out by the millions. I actually find it interesting. I get inquiries from Orientals, the Japanese and the Chinese. Now, the last time they actually sent over expeditions. They had some rather high-priced tourists that spent a lot of good money to come over and experience cicada emergence. But I suspect with COVID, we're not going to see that this year. But it's amazing that in foreign countries, cicadas are actually revered. They're considered to be symbols of good luck. And other countries don't have the periodical cicadas that we have. They have annual cicadas, ones that come out every year. But this periodical cicada is a real unusual event.
And one more time, do you have any tips for people who are trying to make that transition away from, I don't want to be around the bugs, to thinking, it's good luck. I'm experiencing something that only happens nearly once every 20 years.
Sure. Well, you could go on vacation for about 4 weeks.
Never a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, the reality is that we have about 25 broods of these periodical cicadas, and each one of those broods comes out in a different portion of northeastern North America every year. It just so happens that this brood 10 is one of the larger broods, and it occurs in that western half of Ohio, the northern part of Kentucky, the eastern part of Indiana. So that's sort of the region for that. If your listeners want to get more information, I can highly recommend, there's a really great website that really goes into the detail of all the broods, where they emerge, has videos of their songs and pictures of them and so forth. It's called Cicada Mania. So cicadamania.com. And that's run by a whole bunch of fanatical cicada experts. And it's just fun to go through.
That is. And then one more question. I know that this is an area too where sometimes local businesses like to get a little creative with creating cuisine out of these or little delicacies or snacks. Is it safe to eat a deep fried cicada or chocolate covered cicada or cicadas in your ice cream? Or because to me that just sounds weird and gross.
Well, I suspect to the average person, weird and gross. Actually, I've eaten cicadas. We have records that the native Indians used to relish emergences. And here's the key. If you can get them right after they emerge out of the exoskeleton, they haven't hardened the exoskeleton. So what you do is you go out at nighttime when they're emerging and shedding, the nymphs are shedding their exoskeleton to convert into the adult. Soon as they emerge out of that, they are white. They haven't got the pigment in the exoskeleton. They're still soft and tender. It'd be the equivalent of a soft-shelled crab. And you can actually pan fry them up then with a little batter and enjoy them without the crunch. Now, if you wait till they harden their exoskeleton, they're going to be crunchy.
Okay. Well, good to know, because I'm sure that I'm not the only person thinking, that might show up this summer.
Yeah.